Hello, and welcome to the next battle report. Here we have the beast herds, ambushers, 2 Wildhorn herds, and a briar beast. Furthermore, we have the deployment over here. It was marching columns, and I decided to drop everything. We have a giant, Soothsayer, and Longhorns with a battle standard bearer. And here's the general on a chariot, Cyclops, Wildhorns with a strength flag, and another Cyclops, and a giant over here. Next up we have the battle standard bearer who has all the totems. And here is the Soothsayer spells with Totemic Summon, Break the Spirits, Swarm of Insects, and Awaken the Beast. That's it.
These are the Sylvan Elf spells. The healing spell and Master of Earth. The units in the middle here are ambushers. They'll be coming later. Sylvan Elves chose to deploy broadly in a breakthrough battle. The deployment is marching columns, while the beast herd army, which dropped everything after the third drop, chose to go more compactly. Heath Riders on the flank, and the beast giants are vanguarding. This is the magician in the beast herd army. This is the Longhorn herd, a Razortusk hero, and core Wildhorns. The beast herds go first. The beast giant charges the Kestrel Knights. They take a feigned flight, lose 1 wound over the ruin. Everything in the Sylvan side vanguarded, as did the beast herds. And the beast giant is up here in the first round. The beast giant of the beast herd is alone among the Sylvan Elves. The Sylvan Elves turned to face him in their turn. The archer shot down 4 wounds. Ice and fire from the Master Magician took 1 wound. It has 1 wound left. Maybe it took 2 wounds. The other beast giant over here loses 2 wounds to the Kestrel Knight's bowfire. And there are some Heath Riders in the forest. The Heath Hunters take another wound of the Beast Giant. The Beast Giant in its second turn charges the Kestrels and they flee. All the units in the back are ambushers, not yet on the table. This Beast Giant redirects into the Forest Guards, and the Longhorns go into the Forest Guards as well.
Greetings, end of turn 1, or turn 2. Take 2, end of turn 2. Alright, so over in this corner, the Beast Giant charged the Kestrel Knights, who fled 12 inches, barely, almost touching the table edge. The Longhorns over here charged the Rangers, who broke, fled from the combat, only 3 inches. Longhorns decided to reform in order not to get the flank charge from the Thicket Beast. They are buffed to the teeth, so they're ready for a charge. We'll see what happens. Over here, the characters shuffled around behind the hill, and the Wildhorns moved slightly forward. The Cyclops hit both the stones in the head of this guy, who, despite divine attacks, managed to save one of them, and the other stone just did one wound. Over here we had a swarm of insects from the mage who killed 2 wild huntsmen who were just raised again. They keep on dying and reviving. And over here we had a big clusterfuck where my ambushing Wildhorns threw their axes at the solo apprentice sorcerer and died just behind that beast giant. That's almost dead, by the way, just one wound left. And we'll see what happens there, because it's very tight and not much space to move.
In their turn 2, the Sylvan Elves shot down the beast giant, but these ambushing beast units
are insanely brave,
because they managed 3 or 4 discipline tests in a row, from losing models to magic and shooting. The Wild Huntsman went up to chaff the Wild Herd. The Avatar of Nature has taken a couple of direct hits from the Cyclops, but only taken 1 wound. Sacred Seed drops a forest onto the Thicket Beasts, which are now being charged in round 3. The Heath Hunters charged the Briar Beast, a terrible decision. They lost 3 riders and fled, and the Briar Beast did a random movement pursuit into the Kestrel Knights. Kestrel Knights, which shot 1 wound off the Beast Giant. Turn 3 for Beast Herds now. Many charges coming. They're charging the Wild Huntsman here, and the Ambushers are charging the Archers. Stand and shoot. The Thicket Beasts are being charged, and the Blade Answers are being charged by the Beast Giant. The Longhorns killed 2 of the Thicket Beasts with a Totem, and the Thicket Beasts did not stand on Stubborn and were caught in pursuit. A lot happened in the Beast Herds round number 3. The Kestrels have done 2 wounds, losing 2 wounds themselves against the Briar Beast. A real tough cookie, the Briar Beast. The Forest Rangers rallied, 3 of them here. The Blade Answers fled from this Beast Giant. And as I just told, the Thicket Beasts lost, fled, and were caught in pursuit from the Longhorns. 5 Dryades died against the General on Razortusk Chariot. But the Wildhorn herd only killed 3 or 4, no, only 2. Only 2 Wild Huntsmen were killed by the Wildhorn herd. They lost a few themselves, and the combat was a draw. The Wild Huntsmen stood very well against the charge. Cyclops miss their shots against the Avatar of Nature. The ambushing Horns fail their charge against the Archers and lose a couple of models. These ambushers fail their shots against the Kestrel Knights, and now it's turn 3 for the Sylvan Elves. Sylvan Elves looks like they'll be able to consolidate their back ranks against the ambushers, but other than that, there are many open battles here, fluctuating. In their turn number 3, the Sylvan Elves charge the Avatar into the Beast Herd General, doing no wounds, losing 1 wound itself in a challenge. The Ambushers are killed by Spearmen and Archer combo charge, but the Kestrels fail completely against these Ambushers, killing only 4 or 5 and losing 5 wounds themselves. So that combat was a draw. This is the end of the battle line. Fountain of Youth heals 4 Forest Rangers, now in their turn 4. The Beast Herds are charging the Blade Dancers with the Shaman, or a Prophet, or whatever its name is.
Shaman, I think. Or Soothsayer.
Soothsayer. And a mass charge of Wildhorns against the Drides, and 1 Cyclop against the Avatar of Nature for combat rest.
Greetings everyone, this is the end of turn 4 for me. So Beastard's turn 4, and over here the Wildhorns killed the last Kestrel Knight, which is awesome. Something that's even more awesome is that my Wildhorn herd over here did a charge into the Dryads fighting here with my 2 generals. I won by 1, or no, it was more, 3 points I think, and the Dryads ran away, leaving the 2 generals to fight it off while they pursued and killed them and ran into the archers over here. So, very pleasant move. Over here, the sorcerer made a charge into the Blade Dancers, who managed to stick in the combat, and that's the way it looks right now. Here are some surviving casters as well.
Due to the long playing time, we're going to have to make this the last turn. All of these units over here are gone. These are still on the table. The ambushing unit and the Wildhorn herd.
Longhorn, Wildhorn.
Wildhorn herd has killed all the archers and overrun into the Spear Elves. The Beast Herd General has 1 wound left. The Avatar of Nature has 2 wounds left. The Beast Giant lost another wound to the Kestrel Knight's shooting. The last Blade Dancer fell, and the Forest Rangers made a charge into the Soothsayer. The Spear Elves stand against the Wildhorn herd. The herd loses by 1 but stands and reforms in out of line formation to have ranks. The 2 generals still stand, no wounds expended on either side. The last Forest Rangers are killed in a flank charge. In the last round, we finished in round 5. The Spear Elves stood against the Wildhorn herd. None of them broke. The general of the Beast Herds died. The Avatar stood in combat left against the Cyclop, and the Cyclop stood for his break test. The battle ended a 19-1 to the Beast Herds, which also got the scenario. We have a cameo from Winter Wolf's Miniatures. How did your battle go?
I got 259 points in total.
Okay.
So that's
Something to be proud of.
yeah, 0 points, and I'm still at 13. Got 13. Yeah, 13 points in total after 2 games.
Good start in game 1 then.
Yeah.